it's Diane and welcome to this broadcast. Tonight we are going to be discussing intermittent fasting in the form of extended fast, and then I'm going to share with you a little bit of my shopping experience today. So if you are new, my name is Diane, and for the past 25 years I've been helping women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And for me, over the last couple of years, that has been done with intermittent fasting. So we're going to jump right into it tonight, and I'm going to share a little bit about what I consider extended fast to be. So what I am finding in this amazing, whoops, let me get my light back on so you guys can see me. In this amazing world of intermittent fasting is that there's nothing that's really clearly defined or set in stone. And the philosophies and the protocols and the rules are kind of just determined by whoever is kind of promoting something that they're promoting or whatever. And so the way that I have been really working with the women who are joining my groups, and what I found to really be the thing that made intermittent fasting work successfully for me, was to be able to really create and define my own personal sort of path and journey with intermittent fasting. And I really sort of put blinders on to what it was that everybody else was doing, because when I tried to follow someone else's very strict philosophies for intermittent fasting, that's when I really was not enjoying it, and I was finding that I wasn't getting the best results. So let me pause for a second and see who's jumping on here. Hey ladies, thanks for joining. Okay, so if you guys want to post questions or comments while I'm talking about all this, definitely feel free to do so. I don't really stop to answer them. I'll go back and review them at the end. So if something pops up that you have a question or comment about, go ahead and type it in as you think about it so you don't forget, and then I can go back and review them. And then if you feel like you have someone that you want to share this with that might benefit from this, go ahead and you can share this broadcast and they can jump in too. Okay, so let me pick up kind of where I started from, and that was extended fasting and the different philosophies for fasting, and how I really feel that if you just really understand the basic scientific premise of what fasting is supposed to be, and that is when you decide you're in a fasting window, you become a very, what I call, conscious non-eater. Like there's like no other way that I can describe that other than when you're fasting, you have to be very conscious, very in the moment, very aware of what you're doing, and make sure that you are not taking in any calories while you're fasting. Give or take a few things, and we break that down in our group depending on what you feel is comfortable for you. I personally like to go as little to no calories as possible. Every now and then I do a little bit of coconut oil, but I've really gone to just straight black coffee and some carbonated and or spring water. And I get the best results from my fasting that way. And then when you're in your eating window, you want to make sure that you just sort of make a mental note about the hours in which you're going to go ahead and take in calories, and you're going to, have your eating window and enjoy your food. And then I always say, just make sure that you put the most nutrient dense or the smartest food in your body for you, depending on how that particular food makes you look and feel. Forget about everyone else. Forget about what a bad food is. Forget about what a good food is. Determine that for you and your body, because I always say what I consider a bad food for me or what I consider a good food for me might not work the same way with your body's chemistry. So try not to follow someone too blindly and without question, I guess is what I would like to say. Make sure that when you are taking someone's advice, mine included, that you experiment with your own body and you kind of reason out what it is you're doing and if it works for you. Because there are a lot of people out there who have different diet methodologies and different even ways of intermittent fasting that I just think is absolutely crazy, and it would make my life absolutely miserable, but it works for them. And if I tried to follow that, I would have definitely quit doing this. So when I had my little aha moment and I realized what intermittent fasting could do for me if I just listened to my body and figured out what I wanted for my life and kind of found what I call my sweet spot with my fasting and eating windows, that I can make it work for me. So today, or I guess yesterday, without really planning it, I ended up having a 30-hour and 30-minute fasting window. Didn't plan it. I just had kind of a big brunch yesterday, so I had a really long fast on Saturday. We were going to go out to dinner Sunday morning, or out to breakfast Sunday morning, but we decided not to, and we decided to stay home and make a brunch. And so I had a really nice plate of food. I posted it today on my Facebook page. I had some French toast. I had some turkey sausage. I had eggs with some sun-dried tomatoes in them. I had a nice little side portion of some mixed berries, coffee. It was amazing. And I was totally satisfied when I was done eating. And then I just was like, I don't know if I'm going to eat anymore today. And I kind of just made a decision that I wasn't going to eat anymore. I had no idea when I was going to really break my fast today. I knew it was going to be really busy. And so I just was out away from home. I went and got my nails done. I did a little shopping, had some errands to run for the family, had to pick up kids from after school. So I finished my meal yesterday about 1:30, but 1:30 or 2, and that was my brunch. And I didn't eat today till 6:30. And surprisingly, it was a very pleasant experience. I actually went grocery shopping last night about 11:30, because if you're a mom and you're busy and you're working, you know sometimes you have to go grocery shopping at 11:30 at night. And I was kind of a little worried about going grocery shopping with having not had anything to eat pretty much the whole evening. And I could tell I was totally in my fasting mode. I felt like I was fat adaptive. I could feel that my hunger hormones were totally under control. And it was probably the most efficient grocery shopping trip that I've had in a really long time. Probably because I wasn't with my 10-year-old daughter too. But I didn't buy any like mindless, snacky, empty foods at all. I mean, I pretty much stuck to what our standard, go-to fresh fruits and vegetables. I got some organic chicken. I got the necessities for the kids for school. And it was a very inexpensive grocery shopping trip, despite the fact that when I left the house, the refrigerator and the pantry was pretty empty, because I wasn't focused on satisfying any hunger hormones. My hunger hormones are totally in control because I have been fasting so efficiently for the last, I would say year, but really efficient, probably the last 6 months. And so I wasn't focused on satisfying cravings. I wasn't focused on satisfying little snacky impulses. I seriously just went for the necessities, and they all were very healthy. And like I said, it was a really inexpensive grocery shopping trip for us. And I learned a really good lesson in that if you are really concentrating on that fasting window and you're doing it efficiently, and then you're eating foods that are nutrient dense and are satisfying to you when you're eating, then you don't feel like you have to have all that empty, just filler foods in your life. You're going to eat your meals and you're going to kind of be done. So I ate tonight. I kind of think I picked the wrong thing to exit my fast, and so I'll explain that in my private group with my Facebook women. But I would just like to, let you guys know, if you are doing extended fast, that you want to be careful about what it is that you're picking to break your fast with, and make sure that you kind of ease back into some food. And then I'm going to define a little bit of what I think an extended fast is. Now, again, everyone defines things in intermittent fasting their own way, and I totally love that, and I'm open to it, and I appreciate that. I'm not following anyone whose philosophies don't match with my lifestyle. I also suggest that you guys don't do the same. And an extended fast, to me, in my definition, is anything over 24 hours. Because to me, like, you can go from dinner to dinner, or breakfast to breakfast, or lunch to lunch. That's kind of an easy thing once you've been fasting. So when you're beginning, a 12-hour fast seems like it would be absolutely impossible to accomplish, because you think of the hours and you don't realize that most of that time is being spent sleeping, and you're basically going to wake up and just not taking any calories till about a mid-morning or lunchtime meal. So 12-hour fast, once you figure out that it's mostly done through sleeping, that it's not too hard to get through. And then as you work into like a 16-hour fast, you just kind of bump it up. By then, your hunger hormones should start to be settling down, so you have control of that. They're not going to be kind of yelling at you and making you feel uncomfortable. And then 18-hour fasts are kind of that thing where you just mentally have to push yourself to the last 2 hours. And then if you can do an 18-hour fast, a 20-hour fast is almost a relief, because you just go about your day, you do your business, you're not concerned about food, you've managed your hunger hormones, you're not feeling like you need food, and you just eat your 1 or 2 meals. It's so easy because you're not having to prepare a bunch of food. It's so inexpensive because you're not having to buy a bunch of foods. You just eat 2 really good, solid nutritious meals, and you are done. So getting up to that 20-hour fast is really not hard as long as you're doing it correctly, and you are really focusing on being in that fasting window and creating a fat adaptive environment for your body. If you can master that, you can get to those extended fasts. So if you can get to a 20, you can get to a 24, you just play with it. You go dinner to dinner, probably on a weekend, or maybe if you're that kind of person that's busy and you don't think about food, doing it during a work day or something might be nice. And then to me, past 24 hours is when you really gotta mentally sort of commit to what you're doing, because time's elapsing and a day's already gone by and you have stuff going on and you have to kind of become very conscious again. So for me, I am now, since I'm pretty efficient with the fasting, the regular protocols, I'm going to start playing around with doing some extended fasts. So today was one of those days I was just like, what the heck, I might as well do it. I got to about 30 and a half hours. It could have been 31. I'm not really sure. Didn't feel bad at all today. Kept myself busy. Next week, I'm going to try to do a 36-hour fast. So it'll be a little bit longer. And I'll just have to look at my day and kind of see. I'll probably start it in the morning first thing and then go all the way through the next morning until that night's dinner. So it'll be like a day and a half. And I'll probably plan it on like a Thursday, Friday, and then go out to dinner Friday night or something like that. So you can start experimenting. I say if you do it like that, where you experiment maybe once or twice a week with something that's long, then you did 40, I think she said 40 hours. That's nuts. Well, no, it's not nuts because I'm going to do it at some point too. So congratulations. I think that's awesome. It seems nuts to me now because I just got through 30 and I'm like, I don't know how I would have gotten through 10 more. But I think as long as you're just consistently doing it and it's misty, right? Misty, I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. I think once you make that mental commitment and you have a little bit of that experience with it, I felt like the muscle memory for me just kind of kicked in and I kind of just knew I was going to be okay and I knew I had my go-tos. So if you are doing some extended fast or you're new to intermittent fasting and you're still feeling a little bit uncomfortable, some things that you want to think about when you're extending out those hours and kind of experimenting with pushing your fasting window out would be, of course, the coffee. But you don't want to be so coffee dependent that you're not consuming water because that'll kind of backfire on you. You won't feel good. So 1, maybe 2 cups of coffee, and then I would call it quits and then just start consuming a bunch of water. I really like carbonated water. I find that when I'm really efficiently fasting, I generally go for just regular old carbonated water like a Mountain Valley or San Pellegrino type of sparkling water as opposed to the LaCroix. I just don't like to drink out of an aluminum can that much. I'd rather drink out of a bottle, but I throw one in every now and then just for some flavor options. And then I also include some spring water, which does have some mineralization to it. And that also kind of helps. I don't know if it's a placebo effect thing, but when I do drink spring water, I do sort of feel like I get a little bit of an energy burst, and I'm guessing that's from the mineralization that's added to that water. I don't know. It just feels good, so I do it. And that's the thing that I always say, too. If it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, then it's probably not something that you want to be practicing in your intermittent fasting. Spring water works for me. And so I know when I do those extended fasts, I'm going to make sure I have those things readily available, and I'm going to kind of just chill and keep my mind occupied and just kind of stay away from food. So I'll keep you posted on my next one. So this was 30 hours, not too bad. So where does shopping play onto all of this? Well, I already kind of explained how I did the grocery shopping thing. So I say when you're fat adaptive, And I will explain that too if you're in my intermittent fasting group and you're watching this and we haven't gotten to fat adaptive yet. I'm going to explain that in our group and teach you guys how to identify fat adaptation and how to get yourself in that state. But when you are fat adaptive and your hunger hormones are in control, so if you've manipulated them to work in your favor when you don't have food, then you can do things like grocery shop and be very efficient at it. And you can be around food and you can be very efficient at it. I had one meal tonight after 30 hours of fasting and I'm completely satisfied. I probably won't eat anything else tonight. And I had some zucchini spiralized pasta with some turkey sausage and some really clean spaghetti sauce. And so that's what I had for dinner. And I had a bottle of spring water and I'm done. I mean, that's all I ate today and I feel fine. I'll probably wake up tomorrow feeling hungry, but that's okay. I'll do my regular fasting routine and I'll get back into my day tomorrow. But the best part about extended fast and being an efficient intermittent faster and really tapping into that fasting window is I went clothes shopping today for spring. And there is no better feeling for a woman, and if you're on here and you're a woman, you'll totally understand what I'm talking about, to go shopping for spring clothes after you've been in sweatpants and jeans and sweatshirts and sweaters all winter long and have everything that you try on absolutely fit your body. And I even went down a size. So I love what's going on with my body after 2 years of being in tears and not shopping for new clothes and not wanting to wear cute things and not feeling confident in my own skin. And there is nothing better than a good new spring clothing haul and bringing some nice cute stuff into your wardrobe. So if you're intermittent fasting and you're just starting and you're feeling frustrated and you're not sure if you're doing it right, stick it out. I can tell you that it is so worth it. I will be an intermittent faster for the rest of my life. I mean, I'm sure there'll be times when I jump off, but there's absolutely no reason why I would give up the feeling that I have right now for eating food every 2 hours. And I can tell you that going 30 hours without food feels so much better to me than the hangry feeling I feel every 2 hours when I'm on that every 2 hour tiny meal eating schedule. That was the worst. I was the most hypoglycemic person literally at 1 hour and 59 minutes. If I was out running errands with my family and I started getting hangry, my husband would pull up to the closest convenience store and like instruct me to go inside and find a snack because I was miserable to be around every 2 hours if I didn't have food in me. And now I can go 30 hours and I'm fine. Up until about that last half hour tonight when we were kind of in the last stages of getting dinner together and no one could move fast enough for me to get dinner on the table. And I think I kind of snapped a couple times, but after 30 hours, I think that was okay. As soon as I got some food in me, I was fine. So just be aware of that too. The tail end of your fast could be a little sketchy if people aren't cooperating with what you think that they need to do. And that little red face is probably my husband because he's the one who got snapped at. But that's just what life is. So if you are thinking about extending fasting, I guess my advice to you would be practice your intermittent fasting protocols and shave off 2 hours at a time throughout your comfort feeling. So if you're starting to feel like you got a fasting protocol window, then kick it up a little bit and then see if you can stretch it out a little. If you have that kind of mind, like a lot of women that I'm working with have, sorry, I just kicked the phone. Trust me, when you get to that last 45 minutes, just stick it out. Like, I'm that kind of person too, where I get to that last 45 minutes and I kind of wanted to just give in, but then I just pushed myself and redirected myself, and I was so happy I didn't give in when I pushed it out. So don't be afraid to push it out if you start to feel uncomfortable in that last hour. It'll be worth it to just make it through. Drink some water, get some carbonated water, go change whatever it is you're doing, change your scenery, go for a walk, play with your dog, whatever, and just kind of get through it. You'll feel so much better and so much more accomplished if you do. And then, like always, make sure you have a great exit fast or a break fast meal prepared for yourself. You want to ease back into eating with maybe some snacks. In the beginning, it's suggested like a high-fat snack. I think I probably would have done much better tonight if I would have eaten like a half of an avocado first, kind of got that in my system and then probably eased into dinner. But I was like starving and I made everybody else dinner, so I ate my dinner, and I think I ate it kind of fast because I was hungry, and it kind of upset my stomach. But I feel fine now, and I feel satisfied, and I don't feel like I need to eat any more for tonight. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I went 19 hours today, very clean. Oh, awesome, Shannon, you're a rock star. And Shannon, how often have you been fasting, or did you just start? Let's see, Shannon's in my April group for intermittent fasters. And how often do you do extended fast? And I think I answered this, but I'll answer it again because I see your question here. So this is the first time I've ever done anything more than 20 hours, and it was 30, so I added on an extra 10 hours. It was not bad at all. I actually loved it, and I know I'm gonna sleep amazing tonight. I can just feel how my body's feeling. I feel like I was burning fat the entire day. I feel super lean. I feel super fit. I feel very energized, very satisfied. My mind is super sharp and clear, which if you've been around me the last couple of years, you know how scared I have been with my memory and just foggy brain and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have that at all anymore unless I make a nutrition mistake and I start eating too much gluten or slip up and let some soy slip into my life. If I'm really good about those two things, then yeah, these fasts are working great as far as that goes too. So I think I'm going to try to do an extended fast once a week, maybe once every other week, and just kind of play with it. Do extended fasts help you lose weight faster? Yes, Lisa, they do, but you want to make sure that, this is what I always try to emphasize with this, and a lot of women that are reaching out to me for help saying they're not feeling like they're getting the results they want with their fasting, is I think you move too fast. So if you know that you want to do intermittent fasting for the long haul, my advice would be to go at it slowly. And if you do it correctly and you enter in the right foods when you're eating and you're truly creating a fat adaptive state in your fasting window, then the weight is going to start to come off. If you do like we do when we're dieting and we try to rush our way through it and we try to rush to a result, then what happens is it doesn't come fast enough for us and we feel frustrated and we quit. So my advice, if you're trying to lose weight with intermittent fasting, is slow down, take the time to listen to your body, get to know what it feels like when your body is in a fat adaptive state. So you'll know what it feels like when you have depleted all of that glycogen and you are burning off 100% of your own body's fat stores. When you know that for sure and you can feel it and you can get into those 18, 20-hour fasts and feel energized and feel satisfied and accomplished, then that's when I would say you want to go into those extended fasts, because then you understand what it takes for your body to burn that fat. If you rush it, you won't understand it, and then you'll think you're fat adaptive and you really aren't. So you're kind of wasting your time. You're just starving yourself. And there's a huge difference between starving yourself and being fat adaptive, or depleting calories and being fat adaptive, or avoiding food and being fat adaptive. Being fat adaptive is a very deliberate, scientific place in which you put your body so you can burn that fat. And that just takes time. And because we are all so individualized, then I can't tell you what state of intermittent fasting you're going to feel that fat adaptation kick in. It's different for everyone. I know for me, I am very, very, very tuned into my hormones, and I'm very tuned into my body's chemistry. And so I can tell exactly when my body's in that fat adaptive state, and I can tell now because I've done it so much what it takes to get there, and I can pop out and I can pop in pretty quickly. So if you're eager to lose some weight, my advice to you is to slow down, take it one day at a time. Think about this as being a process for your body to change habits that you have created over probably most of your adult life that aren't getting you the results that you want, and give your body enough time to do what it's supposed to do, and that is burn fat for fuel. It's not supposed to burn glycogen for fuel for a long period of time. Short duration, yes. Long duration, we want to burn in that fat. So we will work on that, Lisa, in our group, and we will get you to the point where you'll be so excited you won't be able to help but share to everybody like how you're feeling when your body's burning that fat. And it's a great feeling. You'll be energized all day, and when it's time to go to bed, you will lay down, you will go to sleep, and you will sleep peacefully, and you'll wake up rested. And that's another one of those good signs of being fat adaptive. Okay, are you running during your extended fast? Shannon, I am not running because we got a dog, and so I decided to take a month or so off to just cuddle and get, you know, kind of acquainted with our puppy and make sure she would, you know, wasn't locked up in a crate all the time. So right now I haven't been running, and then I fell in my attic and I broke my toe or foot, or I don't know, I broke something. It's all swollen. So I'm not running, but I was running in the fall and the winter, and I wasn't fasting correctly for what I was doing with running. So there were some days that were really bad. And then when I kind of figured out how to fast and how to break my fast and what to eat the night before I started my fasting window again, I played around with it for probably a couple months until I figured out what worked for my body. So if you want to exercise and you want to run and you're not feeling like you have the energy that you need to have, then you just play around with your carbs, play around with your fat intake, and then, you know, play around with when you stop your eating window, when you start your fasting window, and all that, just based around your running. And that's another one of those reasons why I really, really profess flexible intermittent fasting, because if I wanted to wake up Saturday morning and go for a 10-mile run, I would have to be very, very deliberate about what I ate on Friday night and when I ended my eating window and when I started my fasting window, so that I would have enough in store to get through a run that was going to last me an hour and a half. If I was going to go run 2 or 3 miles, I would have to do anything. I'd be fine on what I have. So it's just one of those things that you know your body, and it would depend on what the duration and exertion of your exercise would be. I will be starting, not this coming week, but the week after that, I'm going to start a round of PIO because it's the #1 infomercial right now, and why wouldn't you do the #1 infomercial? And I'm going to do a complete round of PIO to kind of get me back into running gear, and so I can create that nice, lean, long muscle that I like to have on my body and get kind of ready for bathing suit season without having to really pound my foot into the ground because it's still really sore. So I'll just probably do some PIO and some yoga for probably the end of April, beginning of May and June, and I'll be good to go with my fasting. I won't have to do too extensive of a workout program because my eating is so cleaned up and my calorie intake is so spot on for what I need that just some good flexibility and body strength exercises is all I'm going to need to do. So if you guys are looking for a workout accountability group and you want to jump in to doing some PIO with me or some yoga, definitely message me, private message me. I will be starting that group sometime in May, and I can get you guys started on what you need to do for that. It's a really great program. And I know the company that I work with is having some really good specials with those kind of programs for the spring and summer, so I can hook you up on a good deal if you're interested in working with a coach who can help you with your exercise routines and programs, and also get you on a good solid meal plan. I could do that with you during that time frame in May. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys as far as extended fast. Again, define what it is you want out of intermittent fasting. Don't worry about what all the books and, you know, YouTube videos are saying, including my own. I really like to just have them be very flexible. I don't want to give up life to intermittent fast, so I work my fasting and my eating windows around what is going on in my life at the present time. If I have a social event coming up, I move my windows around so that I can accommodate my social life, because life's too short to live without friends and family and, you know, spend special moments together and create memories, and I'm not going to give that up for food anymore. I used to do it all the time when I was dieting, and I could tell you I missed a lot of great times with family. I missed a lot of great, you know, events because I bowed out because I didn't want to be around food, and that's just a horrible way to live. We don't want to live like that anymore. So let it be something that you define for yourself. Create your own food plans. Don't determine what's good or bad food-wise based on someone else's likes or needs. Determine that for yourself. Get to know your hormones. Get to understand your hunger hormones and what they can do for you once you have them under control and have created a fat adaptive body for yourself. And then, like I said, grocery shopping was a pleasant experience in a fasting window because I wasn't focused on food. And then clothes shopping today was also a great experience because my body has completely adapted to this fasting. It is completely adapted to my eating. And I am able to burn off all that extra body fat that I had stored on my body for 2 solid years when I was insulin resistant. My thyroid was crazy, and I was considered a pre-diabetic. My body was a hot mess, and I did not want to be in any spring clothes, and I definitely didn't want to go clothes shopping. So it's great when it starts to work, and if you're feeling frustrated, reach out to someone that you trust that can give you some good, solid advice on what you can do to make some changes to make intermittent fasting start working for you. If you're looking for an accountability group, we have an amazing one going in April. We will be starting a new one in May that will be filled with like-minded women who want to incorporate intermittent fasting to not only help them look and feel their best, but so they can live their most authentic life and enjoy some of the things that life has to offer, even when we're around food, and stop avoiding those things because food is present. So I hope you guys got a little bit out of this tonight, and I was able to answer some of your questions about intermittent fasting and what it can do for you, and the PIO is best. Love PIO. Okay, good. All you guys are PIO people. Awesome. Okay, Shannon is a PIO instructor even. Okay, so if you want to join my group in May, definitely reach out to me. I will start getting that rolling probably the end of April. And that is where we'll focus on more specific and more individualized meal plans, where I will help you devise food plans that are designed for you and your goals specifically, and then also help you figure out your exercise regimen so that you can get the best results that you want in the least amount of time possible. And if you don't know this and you're on here tonight, I had great results with Turbo Fire. I was part of the test group for that program with Beachbody. And then I was also in an infomercial on TV for Beachbody's program Body Beast, where I was featured for the results that I got with that program as well. So I'm very well versed on fitness programs and nutritional plans and how to get the best results possible. I always say that I can help you get infomercial style results if that's what you're looking for. And I know how to do that because I've done that for myself. So I can definitely help you get to where you need to go if you're looking to hit some specific targets. So I am going to jump off tonight. You guys have a super night. I will see you again tomorrow night, same time, same place. If you have any specific questions that you would like to ask me, definitely feel free to leave those in the comments below. I always go back and review comments, and I will address yours personally. If you feel like you know someone that might be looking for something that will help them kind of get back into the groove with their health and fitness, and you think intermittent fasting might be for them, definitely always feel free to share either these broadcasts, videos, or the information for joining one of our live groups on Facebook, and the course that I have going that is called Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. If you would like to ask me a question that's a little more personalized, you can always private message me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can with an answer. And if I cannot find an answer for you, I will make sure that I point you in the right direction where you can find an answer for yourself. Thanks again, you guys. I will see you tomorrow night. Have a super night.